right, we're there.
Great.
Make sure our chat function is on.
Okay. Just making sure I don't have to hold the phone the whole entire time.
Okay, you get situated. We got 2 minutes and we live on Facebook.
Okay. So how long you been doing this show?
I've been doing it for about 1.5 years.
Okay.
Here
Mr.
we go.
Tucson sure speaks highly of you.
All right, that's great. All right, we got 7 viewers. You ready to get going?
Okay.
All
I
right, let's
am
get it.
ready. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I am your host, Tyrone Bridges. Let's get it.
Check 1 2. Check. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. I am your host, Tyrone Bridges, and we have a very, very, very special guest on our show tonight. And without further ado, let me introduce her. This is Miss Ann Peoples. And Miss Ann Peoples have actually called our show and talked to us about a very, very important matter that happened to her and her family. So without further ado, let me go ahead and turn it over to Miss Peoples. Go ahead and take it away.
Thanks, Mr. Bridges. October 29th of 2020, my family were all in bed for the night. At around 3 a.m. that night, I heard one of my sons screaming. And as I got up from a deep sleep and opened my bedroom door, my 14-year-old son came running into my arms. I looked over my son's shoulder into the eyes of a predator, an intruder who was standing in my hallway. He looked me dead in the eye. He smirked at me. And then he turned around and walked down my stairs through a secret closet shortcut and out my back door. This man was a neighbor. He is an attorney. At one point, he worked as the director of legal compliance for Avalon Housing here in Ann Arbor. Pardon me. We had no reason to believe that we were living anywhere near someone who would be a danger to our family. And in fact, when the police did their investigation and did their interviews, they said that the only way that we could have avoided his attack is if I had known that we were being targeted. It was an opportunistic attack, but there were 5 bedrooms in my home. The intruder, James Scarletta, knew exactly which bedroom to go to. He knew which bedroom in my home belonged to my 14-year-old son, which meant that he had walked around the outside of our house at night in the dark enough times to figure out which curtains, which bedroom belonged to my son. We didn't know Mr. Scarletta. I had never spoken to him. We had no reason to be afraid when we went to bed that night. Ypsilanti Police Department did a fantastic job. My son that night was awakened because Mr. Scarletta, James Scarletta, was unscrewing the light bulbs in his room. My 14-year-old son was pinned to his bed in an attempted sexual assault. The kid is an athlete. He's strong, and he fought him off. He was left with a welt on his neck. When the police interviewed him.
You mind if I share that
can
picture?
show that. Sure.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen. And everybody, if you can see this is her son.
And that's the mark on his neck.
This is the mark on his neck.
From Scarletta trying to prevent him from getting away, from getting out of his own bedroom in his own home.
Unfortunately, I had to show this monster's picture, but let me share the picture of this monster. That's the monster there,
Yes, it is.
the predator.
James Christopher Scarletta.
All right, y'all see his picture. Everybody, y'all see his picture. He's an attorney.
An attorney
right.
who is working with a vulnerable population. Pardon me. Avalon Housing, that's a vulnerable population. Director of Legal Compliance, I mean, that just is mind-boggling. Turns out, I didn't have any reason to be afraid of Scarletta, but he was already convicted of 4 crimes before he walked in, before he set foot in my house. My son woke up because James Scarletta was unscrewing his light bulbs. So we have fingerprints from the light bulbs. My neighbor next door gave police the security camera footage from his camera that showed Scarletta walking down the driveway between our 2 homes and into my backyard. He had to get over a fence, a little fence, to get into my backyard. His live-in partner said that he came home with a tear in his jeans and he was agitated just after he broke in. I did a forensic sketch. My son and I both picked him out of a police lineup. Ypsilanti police did a fantastic job. Within 36 hours, they had Mr. Scarletta in custody. Furthermore, they had a statement from his live-in partner who said she fully believed that James Scarletta went to my home to rape my son because she herself had experienced similar crimes.
Wow.
Right. James Scarletta went in front of Magistrate Alicia Fink on Sunday, November 1st. Alicia Fink, her job was to read the charges and set the bail. She read the charges: assault with attempted sexual assault of a minor and home invasion of the 1st degree. And she dismissed the sexual assault charge as having no basis. And she did that without hearing evidence. She didn't hear any evidence. My son, police, he came there to rape me. If he came there to kill me, he would have done it because he had enough time. I'm sitting right in front of my son's bunk bed. This kid was asleep in his own bed, in his own room, in his own house. The house was locked up for the night. There was a window, a sliding window that I checked before I went to bed, and I thought that it was properly locked. In fact, it wasn't. The clip was not engaged. But as the police told me, it was an opportunistic thing. And as a mother, who would think my 14-year-old will not be safe if I leave him home alone while I go and pick up my Kroger click list, while I run over and get the prescriptions from the pharmacy? I wouldn't hesitate to leave a high schooler alone in my home. I would think, well, that's all right. You know, he'll probably just play video games. I'll be back in less than an hour. He's going to be fine. But that's not the case.
Now, if you don't, I'm sorry for interrupting. If you don't mind me asking you to share with the public, what neighborhood was this in?
This is the Normal Park neighborhood in Ypsilanti.
Okay.
I grew up.
Let's give us some cross streets so they can understand proximity.
So, yeah, Cross Street, the Water Tower, Congress Street, Summit, Rutherford Pool. A lot of families in Ypsilanti use Rutherford Pool all summer. Mansfield Park.
Okay, we call it rec pool. A lot of people from Ypsi call it rec pool. Rec pool, y'all. He in that area.
Yeah, he's in that area. I mean, that is not a dangerous neighborhood. It's a neighborhood where neighbors know each other, an active community association who get together and do things, an active community association on Facebook. And guess who was a member of the neighborhood association on Facebook? James Scarletta,
This predator.
this predator.
So
And
Karen Mauer and Mark Mauer, they know this predator too, because they're part of that association, I believe. But I'm just guesstimating names from when I was over in that area, y'all. Now, y'all giving quick backstory. She's talking about, y'all know where the old Forbes party store, the old Brandy's party store, in that area down Summit Street, okay, down in normal area, over in that area near the park. Now we talking about, y'all, and I'm not trying to take over the conversation. We are talking about, now correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Peoples. We are talking about a white man who's an attorney, who has privilege.
Wealthy white, 36-year-old attorney.
36
has a lot of privilege.
36-year-old attorney, a white man with privilege, who actually broke into her house and attempted to sexually molest her 14-year-old boy.
In his own bed.
In his own bed.
Locked his bedroom door. Was taking the light bulbs out of the light fixture. This privileged white, wealthy white male had 4 prior convictions.
We got his convictions right here. Convicted of driving under the influence, pleading guilty to a probation violation, convicted of a domestic violence, convicted of an aggravated assault. Also, in the report, they said he's also a wife beater. And he actually out. And he's actually out. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's actually currently out right now.
Correct. And not only was he convicted of those 4 crimes, he was still licensed to practice law in the state of Michigan.
And currently, he's probably still licensed to practice law in the state of Michigan.
I don't know. He may have his license suspended at this point, but pardon me. Last time his license was suspended, they only took it away for a year.
So I'm sorry. Let's back up a little bit. Let's put some content. Let's put some meat on this bone here. You mean to tell me this predator that you and your son both identified in Washtenaw County under the prosecutor, the current prosecuting attorney office, Ellie Savitt in Victoria, under their watch, this shit, excuse my French. Let me say this right now. Let me put this disclaimer out here to our Thought You Knew listeners, because some of y'all got tender ears. For those who have got tender ears on this show and y'all listening now, y'all might as well unplug, because I'm going to say a lot of motherfuckers and fucking shit and all that shit. I'm pissed off right now, because right now, this current prosecutor, Ellie Savitt, who's giving out PR bonds to basically anybody, is allowing this white privileged attorney to attempt to fuck your son. And a lot of you ball riders, excuse my French, because I'm gonna be as raw as I can be on this show without blowing a gasket. But all you ball riders out there in Ypsilanti and Washtenaw County, y'all hear this? Blacks, y'all carrying this lunch bucket, and what is happening? They let this predator off, and he's our prosecuting attorney still?
And they didn't even give him, they told us when we did the meeting with the AP, with the assistant prosecutor and the victim's advocate, they said to me that if my son was not willing to testify, that the deal that they would offer would be 18 months. My son said, no, that's not long enough. I said, my son said to me, Mom, should I have just let him rape me? Would he be in prison then? I said, no, no, son, you did the right thing. You did the right thing. You did the right thing. The fact that they're doing the wrong thing doesn't mean that you made the wrong decision when you fought like hell to beat that motherfucker off. And I believe motherfucker is the correct terminology for a situation like this.
Well, y'all,
I mean,
y'all,
this is
let
terrifying.
Let me share this picture again because I want y'all to see this motherfucker. Because I bear the same anger and frustration that this mom right here going through, because if it was my kid, that motherfucker, I'm sorry, that motherfucker has some issues right here. See this predator right here, y'all. I'm showing y'all this predator. This predator.
He said,
and this is what he did to her son, and her son had to fight for his damn life. Let me take this down because I'm getting mad enough to tear this computer screen down. He had to fight for his life because he wanted to rape him. And he's not being brought up on charges on that rape, but he's out on bond and on probation on lesser charges. Wait, y'all.
It's not right.
Wait, y'all. So the prosecuting attorney office had an opportunity to put this predator away.
They said that they're going to offer him a deal.
Lawyer or not. Just the same thing that happened to that Asian guy who shot that young black boy.
Mm-hmm.
You see what's happening, y'all, the public. Let me digress here. Let me put it on the floor. The public right now, see what y'all do. Y'all some soft ballot pushing motherfuckers. Because right now, I've already experienced a predator attempting to break in my house before. Robert Whitsett. I caught his ass myself 18 hours later because I don't never forget a face. So we already understand these male predators out here trying to get these little boy booties. You understand? And not necessarily messing with the boys. They fucking around with these girls too. And what his Ipsy has done, and Ipsy's leadership has done, they done got Ghetto Fabulous up under the photo shops and shoots that they done and put it on doggone Facebook because the pandemic, instead of leading, you see, that right there should have been pushed to the max. And they Johnny come lately on this Eastern lawsuit to try to shut down that doggone fraternity house. It's a lot of fuckery going on in Ypsilanti, Washtenaw County, Ann Arbor, Michigan. And our prosecutor, the motherfucker that y'all done voted in office, because I didn't vote for the motherfucker, he fucking up royally. And for y'all who carrying his lunch pails and y'all who jacking him, y'all know what? The next motherfucking victim that this damn predator is gonna be on, y'all gonna have to rock an apology letter to that parent if that predator gets somebody else's kid, and maybe one of y'all. I don't understand. In that area, y'all ain't had no major rapes or no major sex CSC convictions in some years because black folk didn't come over in that damn area. But now you got white folks breaking in white folks' house, and I'm putting it on the floor because if it was a black man,
if it was a black man, he would have been in prison before he ever came in my home.
That's the
four
shit.
Four convictions. A black man would have been in jail.
Under the jail.
Not right. He would have been in jail for the domestic violence, the aggravated, all those crimes. He would have been in a prison.
And
he would not have been.
My thing is this: how would it be even domestic violence if the man ain't never had no relationship with your son?
It just doesn't.
But y'all don't. But see, public, y'all public don't get it. Now I'm reading the comments and I'll address them in a minute because I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Check this out. We talking about why the news ain't covering it, why M Live ain't covering it, why Channel 4 ain't covering it, Channel 7 ain't covering it, Channel 2 ain't covering it. You know why? Because they not gonna cover nothing that's gonna damage the image of the prosecutor. They're not gonna do it. But an independent show like mine, they don't pay me. And they can't shut me up, and I don't carry nobody lunch pail. So that's why that Mr. Tucson convinced you to give me a call or talk to me, because I'm gonna let it out. I'm gonna let it out because this right here is raw fuckery. And for
Mr.
y'all
Tucson,
reading these comments and looking at what's going on, this is Washtenaw County, Michigan.
where we have a wealthy 36-year-old white attorney who breaks into a 14-year-old boy's room at 3 a.m., tries to rape him. 2 days later, he's back living in the same house, 60 feet away from mine. 60 feet away. We pull in the driveway. My son says to me, Mom. I look over, there's Scarletta getting his recycling cans.
And so he's in Normal Park now, right?
He sold that house.
Oh, he
sold that house. Thank God.
But the funny thing about it, he's still out. That's the
still
thing.
out.
He's still out.
And it ain't funny. It is not funny at all. It's not one bit funny. Mr. Tucson, I have a lot of respect for the work that he's been doing in this county for the past, I don't know. I mean, 1986, that's a long time, right?
Yes.
And he didn't even have to convince me because I have an obligation to the other parents out there. When James Scarletta sat on my son's bed, he whispered into his ear, shh, be quiet or your mom will hear. He knew that I was a single mother. He targeted my son. He had no protection other than, I mean, normally it just so happened that one night, the clip on the window, it appeared to be clipped. Everything appeared to be locked. And people in the middle of the day, in broad daylight, this man, his crimes are escalating. If you look at that rap sheet, his crimes are escalating in nature. You think the next time he'll be afraid to walk into somebody's house in the middle of the day? I mean, he cased the house. He targeted my son. He knew I was a single mother. And I've heard people say things like, well, if somebody broke into my house, I would have shot him. Let me tell you right now, with my child in my arms, no, I would not have shot him. There would have been no clear shot.
You did the
No
right
way.
thing. You did the right thing. And don't let nobody even attempt to bully you. And bottom line,
don't be confused, people. Don't think that just because you happen to be trained and you have firearms in your home that you would be able to protect your children against someone, a predator like James Scarletta, who targets your child, cases your home, and intends to invade and sexually assault your child. Don't think that you would have that opportunity, because with my child in my arms, there is nothing I was going to do other than protect my child.
Well,
and the police did a fantastic job. They did a fantastic job. I mean, the detectives, they were knocking on doors for 24 hours straight until they had him in custody.
Kudos to Ypsi police.
But the prosecutor's office are letting us all down. The police can't do their job if the prosecutor's office will not do theirs.
And y'all are hearing it from this mom who experienced the middle of the night horror of a motherfucker in her house trying to get at her baby. And that's fight or flight on all levels, y'all, bottom line, because y'all know if y'all was in the middle of the night and y'all experienced some shit like that, and y'all got a predator looking directly at you trying to get your baby. And I'm telling you now, y'all don't think I don't know the experience. I do. And I can tell you the motherfucker named Robert Whitsett. And I can tell you that he went to prison and he's back in prison for more shit because he tried to attempt to come in my house years ago. I caught him. But at the same time, we don't have no prosecutor with real balls to prosecute some CSC case or even have the prosecuting attorney's office there to even stand there and say, make it clear to the magistrate that this man almost raped a child in his own bed, in his own crib.
In his own bed.
And
I mean,
the charges get dropped. What type of shit is that? Now I was pissed off about hearing the situation before with the magistrate had something to do with the Wynn boy that shot that 6-year-old. But at the same time, this situation right here, and I'm just saying because Magistrate Fink must not have kids that she
has
cherished.
4 kids.
Well, if she have 4 kids that she cherished, she should think about what she did right there, because her apology letter will be on the next parent who actually get.
Yep. I hope they're over there writing up a real nice condolence letter for Scarletta's next victim, because there will be one. This man is a predator. He will reoffend. He isn't going to stop. They said he's going to be in jail for something like 9 months, 5 years probation.
5 years probation and no registry. No registry on the Michigan.
No sex offenders register. Exactly.
Y'all hear that?
So you're not going to know. You're not going to know.
So listen here. He got a privileged white attorney in Washtenaw County up under Ellie Savage watch. And you got some people right now on the CSC registry at the age of 16 was fucking a 14-year-old, and now you're on CSC level for the rest of your life. You know that ain't cool. Or some of you 15-year-old boys that mess with 17-year-old women and they on registry for the rest of their life. That's not balance of equal justice. That's some buffoonery right there. It seems like this prosecuting attorney office give a fuck about his image of trying to clean people's records up, and what he doing, he's bamboozling you doggone voters who's out there loving his ass. You see, that's what's happening. This ain't an attack on Ellie. See, I ain't had to bring this shit up. She talked to me today in depth. We had a long 30-minute conversation about what the fuck happened to her baby. And I'm like, wait a minute, would you come on the show? She said, hell yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a travesty not to come on your show and talk about
Yes,
this.
It would. Yes, it would, because he isn't on a registry.
And echo me if I'm wrong. For all you mothers and all you fathers out there who got kids, and y'all, this ain't snitching. This called be the fuck aware of a predator in your shit. And if she's saying that I got to stand up for the rest of these mamas and the daddies that won't open their fucking mouth and talk about this buffoonery that's happening in our county, she's standing up for the rest of y'all ass. Because what y'all won't do, y'all will talk about it on Facebook, somebody that violated y'all kid and this, that, and the other, and y'all be wanting to kill them. But what you don't do, you don't talk to the public. So the public can be behind your ass 100%.
So the public can be aware. There's danger in their neighborhood.
They would have never known about this story at all.
Wherever James Scarletta is living right now, the people in his neighborhood do not know there is a sexual predator among them.
Let me put this, I'm sorry. Forgive me, viewers. Y'all got to see this motherfucker's face again. He's an attorney, and if you hired him, y'all might want to fire that fucker because of the allegations. And right here is somebody here live, ain't gonna sit there and make up no shit. This predator broke into her house at 3 o'clock in the morning to try to fuck her son in the middle of the night. That ain't cool. And he's out and not being charged. So y'all can be mad about my language or whatever. I'm gonna tell y'all in my good mama's words, fuck you. Come see me. Like I said, if this was my baby, wouldn't be no prosecuting attorney. Won't be no prosecution. It won't be no prosecution of his ass. So all you people that live near this motherfucking predator, y'all better put y'all antennas up, get your pistols, shotguns ready, because if he get caught in your crib and y'all let that motherfucker sneak out and get no justice for trying to fuck your kid, y'all need to be ashamed of yourself. Y'all need to handle justice like y'all supposed to. This predator need to be under jail. If he was black, if
He
was
would be in prison.
if he was a
He
black
would
man,
be in
he would
prison
be
with
under
5
jail.
convictions. 5 convictions. I don't honestly believe that he would have even been out of jail and had his license to practice law if he had been a black man.
And where is it? Wait a minute. Oh, Lord have mercy. Where in the fuck is Dana Nessel at? Our attorney general asked, your bad ass want to charge a family that get beat up by a damn police officer because they worried about their baby. And now you ain't looking at Ellie Savage's lack of prosecution on this motherfucking predator who is supposed to be an outstanding, upstanding citizen who represent law and order. Dana Nessel, get your trifling ass up and charge this motherfucker. Charge this fucking predator. Because actually, Washtenaw County legal system ain't got no balls to charge a white man, privileged attorney, who could break in somebody's house at 3 o'clock in the morning and try to fuck their kid. I wish you was a minimum some kin to me. Find some bloods of me. It'd be problems for that motherfucker. Let me put that motherfucker back on the screen again, because y'all need to be aware of the motherfuckers that live next to you. That's the motherfucking predator. He broke in her house 3 o'clock in the morning to try to get her son, her 14-year-old son. And he wasn't charged in Washtenaw County. And
They
y'all
charged
think
him
I
with-
don't go crazy off of this motherfucker talking about shit like this? It's crazy. Because half
It
you
is
motherfucking
crazy.
voters that lost y'all rabbit ass mind. Y'all good with it. Y'all good with it. Y'all are
They
good
charged
with it.
him with home invasion in the first degree, which, by the way, is a felony.
Yeah, he's supposed to be in
Felony
jail.
with a maximum of 20 years. So the man serves 9.
9 months.
Charged with 9 months. 9 months. So he's charged with a felony. It's his 5th conviction. Let's just do that math. 5th conviction, charged with a felony, maximum sentence 20 years. He serves 9 months.
And he get out
What does that
ready to fuck
equation tell
somebody
us?
else.
It tells us he's a wealthy, white, privileged male. That's what that equation tells us. And personally, Savage is not protecting this community. He is not doing the job that he has been paid to do. He is being paid to protect the community. The police do their job. Savage drops the ball.
And their hands is tied because his ass don't even, he don't have a clue about a prosecuting the case. I ain't seen him prosecute that damn case. He popped up and say, oh, emergency bond hearings when they fuck up, and when he want to get on TMZ and lie to TMZ like he's been our great hero. Man, you ain't done shit. You hear this woman right here. She told her story. See, I didn't have to dig this one up. I didn't have to dig this one up. I didn't have to
People
lie.
have a right to know. People have a right to know about this.
So the
People have a
public,
right
for
to know.
those, for the naysayers, rewind this tape, rewind this segment, listen to it from start to finish. And y'all tell me y'all like that bullshit. Because if y'all grandbabies, y'all kids, y'all star athlete little boys.
That's who my son is. He's a star athlete.
Come on now. This mama ain't no exempt. You see? This her baby. 3 o'clock in the morning. He got to fight off a damn grown ass motherfucking predator.
More
3 in the
power to
morning.
him for fighting him off. More power to him for fighting him off. But then for a 14-year-old to have to carry that burden of self-doubt.
Yeah.
Mom, should I have let him rape me? Would he be in jail now?
Oh man.
What?
You can imagine the trauma that he's going through right now.
Not just imagine, live with. Kid wakes up screaming at 3 a.m. He's in the house. I have to search the whole house. He's not here. He's not here. It's okay. Go to sleep. He's scared that the predator, Scarletta, is in the house. His Scarletta is living 60 feet away. I mean, thank God we're able to get out of that. We're in a different neighborhood now. My son is not, but as a child, to have to see this man wheeling in his trash cans, coming outside to do yard work, that man should not have been walking the streets.
He should never have walked the street.
Nobody is safe from somebody who cases a joint, targets the child, waits for his opportunities, and then gets his victim.
We're in the third world country, literally. We literally in a third world country because we have no prosecutor with balls. He's a male, but he ain't got no balls. Ballless. Because he ain't got no kid. He ain't bared not one child out of his body. So he wouldn't have no sympathy for us. He wouldn't have no sympathy for you, for me. He wouldn't have no sympathy for no damn body. He running around here.
Well, he has plenty of sympathy for wealthy white males.
He is running around here like he's the best thing that came through here, boy. He's doing a lot of fuck up.
He has a lot of sympathy for wealthy white males, though, when you really think about it. I mean, you don't have to have children yourself to have sympathy for children and want to care for them and protect them, keep them safe in our community. You don't have to have children to understand that that's a priority.
But
why doesn't Savitt understand that?
My thing is this: either he's a little on the Riri side or something, because he has the 6-year-old that got shot. There's other kids that got shot on the South Side. Your son damn near got attacked by this predator. And if anything, he could have had that charge recharged. The fuck?
Yes, that is what I said. My son said that he wanted to testify. He asked to testify. He wanted to go to trial. They didn't even issue a subpoena for him as a witness.
I wish, and I pray, I'm gonna put this prayer out there honestly, because I know still some viewers on here lagging and shit, and I know they like to watch it afterwards. They don't like to watch it live. But I pray that the federal government, I pray that the fucking feds come in and open their trifling ass eyes and look at y'all case, because I think that you and many other families in Washtenaw County has been dealt the most fucked up his hand of prosecution, because I've had people call my hotline and talk to me about their child, how their child was gunned down. And I pray to God, as me being a 52-year-old black man who'd have been through the system because I didn't snitch, I pray to God that the feds come in and rain down on this damn prosecutor and his regime, because this right here has put an additional blunt scar on Washtenaw County, because a lot of you Republican voters right now, y'all should be ashamed of yourself, because y'all bitching about some of them Democrats that ain't doing shit, but you got this trifling ass prosecutor that's making a buffoonery out of our county. And it seems like I'm the only one that won't call him out, because he can't do nothing. He can't do nothing but kill me, and I ain't worried about that because I serve God. Somebody told me, oh, you should be worried. You should be worried. Worried for fucking what? Worried for fucking what? Telling the truth and let the truth reign? But
I'd be more worried if I didn't.
I want these voters to wake the fuck up. I want these people who are peeking in on the show and peeking in to see what the fuck they can gossip about. Open y'all eyes and share this damn video. Share this interview. Because if y'all think y'all got some salvation here right now, because we got this new attorney, he white, he might be white, but he all right. That's some bullshit. That baby, her baby was not protected. Her baby was not protected.
The rest of the babies in Washtenaw County are not being protected. Who knows who he's going to target next? Who knows which child he will go after, or which vulnerable person in our community? We don't know. We don't know. All we know is that this type of predator will reoffend. And I'm saying that based on the data, based on the research, this type of predator will reoffend. His crimes are escalating. We don't know who he's going to come after next.
And he only 36.
He belongs in prison.
And he's
He's
only 36.
Well, he's 38 or 37 or 38
37,
now. He
38,
belongs
he's still young.
He belongs in a prison. Men like this is why we have prisons. This is why we have prisons. So the rest of us can sleep at night, so our middle schoolers can walk through the neighborhood to their school and walk through the neighborhood back home from school. So we can leave our high schoolers doing homework and run out at 9 o'clock at night and pick up milk and bread and not worry that something is going to happen. So we can get on with living our lives instead of living in fear, because we're not being protected by our current prosecutor, because our current prosecutor refuses to hold the line against predators, pro-abuse, pro-predator, pro-rapist. Who's going to hold the line? Who is going to hold the line?
In this victim right advocacy, let's quickly glimpse across this little bullshit that they put out there with the victim rights advocacy, the advocacy group. They ain't nothing but a part of hirees up under his watch, basically to try to get the victims to give the man or the person, the suspect, a second chance, or go light on sentencing for him. So the victim advocates, how did they treat you when it come down to this predator in his case?
They said that I would have a chance to say what I thought of that sentence at his sentencing.
And that's it.
What does that mean? What does that mean to every other mother in Washtenaw County? What does that mean to every other grandmother in Washtenaw County who is responsible for the safety and the welfare of children and young people? What does that mean to every other teacher and sports coach, anyone who works with young people and cares about them, our community workers? What does that mean to everyone else who wants to safeguard children and protect our community from predators? So I get to get up there and say, to 3 or 4 people, this is a terrible idea, the community is in danger. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-fucking-do. That's why I came on this show. I owe it to all the other brothers and sisters out there who are doing the job day after day, just like me. Waking up, getting the kids to school, getting to work, doing the homework, driving to practice, picking up the kids. Everybody else who's doing the job, doing the work in this community needs to know there's another task on the list, because Eli Savitt shoved it off onto our shoulders. He refused to do the job that he is being paid to do. That's not right. And I have an honest debt to the rest of the people in this community to tell the truth. I owe it to my community. I care about this community. I grew up here. Even if I didn't, I'd still care about this community. These are people.
Yeah, the story has to be told. And she said it. She said a mouthful with that, y'all. The story has to be told. Nobody's representing us like they supposed to. Nobody's telling the story like it's supposed to be told. And I don't always get everything right. That's why I'm glad she came on the show and explained herself, and then my passion to peel out upon the story, because my heart is broken. As a man, as a Black man in Washington County who've experienced both sides of the world, penitentiary and doing stuff in the public the right way. Y'all, this is a mouthful right here. This is an earful. And my heart is crying for this parent right here. And you tell that young man of yours, you tell him that I thought you knew is sending out all our love for him. And our brothers out there that know this young man, if y'all know this young man, put your arms around him and protect him. Because this ain't cool. This right here ain't cool. And I would hate to see the day that another mother will call this show and tell me that this same motherfucking predator has actually did his job on Ellie's watch. Because if that happens, Ellie Savage need to have shackles on his fucking arms and his legs, and he need to go to the Michigan Department of Corrections, or maybe even some Fed time. Because what he doing right now, Washington County is the okay motherfucking corral. You can do what you want to do in Washington County, and you can get out on PR bond and make us look like a laughing stock, because we do not have a prosecute attorney with no balls. And I mean that.
We have a defense attorney for a prosecutor. Literally. He's a former defense attorney. I thought justice was supposed to be a prosecutor and a defense attorney, not two defense attorneys.
And we see the crookedness going on. We see the crookedness.
Yeah. Something stinks in Washington County.
Yeah. We know. We definitely know. But for y'all who do know, and y'all sit back and act like y'all don't know, and for y'all who are complicit, and y'all know we serve a mighty God. God ain't gonna allow this stuff to happen too long. He ain't.
I refuse to be complicit with this. I refuse to be complicit. I'd rather tell the truth and shame the devil.
Well, y'all, here she is. Here's Miss Peoples, Miss Ann Peoples here. She's opened the floor up, the floodgate of people calling the show or coming on the show. If y'all got a story that y'all want to talk about, Washington County, and not be afraid, because fear shouldn't be in your body. You should be afraid of God only. Give us a call at our hotline, our Thought You Knew hotline. It's 734-444-3675. Once again, that's 734-444-3675. We mean business. And we not going to let up off Ellie's ass. Period. Because this motherfucker need to go. And a lot of these magistrates that are actually doing the work of, I'm not even going to say friendship or whatever. I'm just tripping because I don't dig that angle where the magistrate get to change the charges because she feels, but you got a fucking victim.
It's not her remit.
And a witness. Honestly.
And fingerprints.
And fingerprints.
And security.
Yeah.
And security footage. What else do we need? Live video?
They need to
Was
recharge.
that what we needed?
They need to recharge it. Bottom line, because Washington County, y'all really got a fucking problem here. That right there, and y'all think that honestly, the predators should be let back out on the street? And Christina Hines, are you supposed to be the what? The lead prosecutor of CSC cases? I think. Come on, y'all. Don't let your conscience follow you with making bad legal decisions. Bottom line, this right here is crazy. This is the craziest story I heard in Washington County. This is one of them. This is one of them. This is
There's worse
sad.
out there, I'm sure.
This is sad. And y'all, I ain't gonna drag it out even longer because I'm pretty sure she's got to eat dinner. I got to eat dinner. And shit, my blood pressure up. I need to take my doggone blood pressure because right now, the predator in Ypsilanti is still reigning. And we have no fucking prosecuting attorney. It is what it
We have
is.
nobody's holding the line.
None. And if y'all good with it, hey, open up y'all doors. All I can
Let
say
him
is
come
this.
after your kid.
This woman here, she needs all our love. She needs all our condolences about what's going on and how her child got to go through this emotional battle, y'all. It couldn't
That's
be
bad
mine.
enough. That's bad enough. But what's worse is thinking there's going to be more. There is going to be more. I mean, I just made a remark that I regretted immediately. Let him come for your kid. There's no part of me that agrees with that statement. I would take a bullet before. But what do we do?
But that's
do we do?
reality. He's out.
He's out. I spent my whole life caring for children, protecting children, teaching children, guiding children. This is my life. A lot of people in this community, this is our whole life. Raising up the next generation of people who are going to be living here after we're dead and buried. You know, teaching the young people what's right from wrong. What does it say to a teenage boy when a 30 white male privileged attorney tries to rape him in his own bed at 3 a.m. and that man doesn't go to trial, even though that child wants to testify? He wants to stand and fight. A lot of kids wouldn't be able to take that kind of pressure, but my son, the prosecutor wouldn't take that to trial. And what does that tell my son? And what does that tell his peers, his generation? What does that tell them about sexual violence and sexual crimes?
Yeah, it's all right, Washington County, as long as it's up on the Ellie Savage. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck, y'all? Y'all, my night, I mean, my stomach bubbling right now because I'm pissed off. Y'all know how I feel about this motherfucker, flat out. And I don't give a fuck who don't like what the fuck I say. Come see me, especially his punk ass. It's sad. It's sad. And Washington County residents, y'all like this shit? Throw both hands up in the air and let it keep coming. But ma'am, I am sorry from the show. I'm sorry for me as a black man, as a male, as a role model, from what people have told me. Damn. And damn, I wish the neighbors could have caught him and hit the brakes off that motherfucker. And then, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know
the
either.
next, I pray to God it don't be a next person or a next family
Amen.
that has to go.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
And y'all, we sorry that we got to even bring this to y'all like this, but damn, y'all had to know. One gonna hear from M Live trifling ass. Channel 247 ain't even going for it. And I ain't gonna tell y'all no fucking lie. I'm gonna bring y'all the real. Y'all might not like me cursing, but I'm gonna bring y'all some honesty on this show. And for y'all who believe all the stories that I brought you and all the information that I got, like I told you, I either got it from law enforcement, the legal world, or somebody who has the knowledge that goddamn cares. Okay? You don't like what I say, like I said, turn the fucking page. Ma'am, once again, I'm gonna let you go because I'm worn out. This is not the Washington County I grew up in.
Neither.
And I'm sure that your son is going to grow up to be a wonderful, wonderful man. He going to bounce back off this shit. And
Yes,
he's going to be a
great,
crime fighter himself.
he's a great young man.
And you tell him we sending our love from our show to him. And let us know when he's playing football, because we'll support him. I ain't kidding. We had that stadium packed. We're going to show some love to him for real, because this predator going down. One way or another, this predator going down. And now the public and the quiet people that might have had this happen to their kid or might have had this happen to their family members, they might not be so quiet now after hearing this show. But this is no way coming on this show with no lies. This is all facts. Ma'am here has brought the show all exclusive information that we need to know for those who didn't catch the show from start. And now it's about to finish. Rewind it, share it. I don't even want you to like it, because I'm disgusted. Y'all know who that predator is. And keep this woman and her family in prayer. Thank you, Ms. Peoples, for coming on the show. Thank you, Mr. Tusa, for even bringing her this way, because without you, sir, we would have never known this here information. And thank you for YPD for doing y'all job. And the detectives, thank you again. And if you ever want to come back on the show again, talk more about this predator or even the prosecutor, you're welcome to come.
Thank you.
All right. Have a nice day.
You too.
Peace.